So what happens is when we don't take the time to really think about what we want people to know about who we are, we start to all sound very generic and very the same. And I say this with love, but most of our stories can be similar, right? I grew up performing for my family. I did The Wizard of Oz, or I did Annie, and then I fell in love. Christmas Carol, I did Christmas Carol. Then I fell in love with acting, and I did all the high school plays, and so many people have that similar story, and it's not that interesting to read about. Hi there, Jody Bentley here, actor and CEO of Actor Insider and the Actor's Office. And today I want to talk about 5 steps to write a kick-ass actor bio. I can't tell you how many times my clients are freaking out about how to write the freaking bio. Maybe you can relate to that, right? It's so hard to stare at a blank page and go, what do I say? What do I write? How do I talk about myself? I get it. It can be really challenging. So I really wanted to talk about how to do that in an easier way to really show who you are, because your bio is a really great marketing tool. It's a really great marketing tool. And specifically in this video, I want to talk about your bio for your website, right? Not necessarily your bio for IMDb or a playbill or something like that. I want to talk about your bio that you're going to put on your website, that you might put on your LinkedIn profile potentially, right? That really shows who you are. And I'm a big fan of websites. I probably have other videos about that. I think it's the only place where you do have complete control on the internet. I'm a huge fan. I think producers, directors, writers, they would be using and looking, searching for you, right? And they're going to want to find your website. That's where you have complete control to show your voice, show your brand, and show who you are. But I digress. Let's get on with the bio. So 5 steps to write a kick-ass actor bio. Number 1, I really am a big proponent of making it in first person. Now you get to choose, right? You're either going to write it in first person or third person. Really, those are our options, right? And the first person is the I perspective, right? The third person is Jody Bentley as an actor, blah, 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 right? But I really love first person bios, especially on your website. And here's why. It's your site, right? I'm going to your website because I want to learn more about you. And if I'm actually going to spend the time reading your bio, that means I'm really interested in learning about you and your point of view and who you are, not some formalized version to explain to me what that is. So first of all, I really invite you to make it in first person and take that risk. I know for some people that's uncomfortable, but I really invite you to put that in first person. It's easy to hide behind the tone of the third person. And again, we might want to do that on IMDb, right? But for your website and anywhere else that's personal, I really invite you to do that in first person. Second thing, really use your language, your voice, your tone. That is why I want you to put it in first person, is that way you can write how you speak. I want to understand who you are and what you believe and how you talk, and get a visceral feel and vibe for who you are through your bio. Again, that's why it's a great marketing tool. Right? Again, another place to put your bios in your press kit. I talk a lot about that when I talk about interview prep for agents and managers, right? So I use your language. Let me know who you are through the word choice that you are using. Don't make it professional to be professional. Third thing, you got to ask yourself, what do you want people to know about you? What do you want people to know about you? And you get to be super specific. I edit clients' bios a lot in my membership and in my mastermind groups. And this week I had a session of my mastermind group, and I was editing one of my clients' bios. And she showed me her first draft. This was before we even worked together on anything. And it was something about, grew up in a very large and festive family and doing high school plays or something like that. So what happens is when we don't take the time to really think about what we want people to know about who we are, we start to all sound very generic and very the same. And I say this with love, but most of our stories can be similar, right? I grew up performing for my family. I did The Wizard of Oz, or I did Annie, and then I fell in love. Christmas Carol. I did Christmas Carol. Then I fell in love with acting, and I did all the high school plays. And so many people have that similar story, and it's not that interesting to read about. So what do you want people to know about you? You get to be specific. It's not just I grew up in a large family and love to entertain them, right? This client specifically grew up in a very large German family, and she had so many more stories to share, which was so much more compelling. So what do you want people to know? What is most important about people to know? And remember that we connect in specifics. So be specific. Don't use that flowery actor language that everyone tends to use. Be specific with what you want to say and with your tone, your language, and your voice. Fourth thing, what's your mission as an artist? Share that. What drives you? Why do you do what you do? Again, be specific. But I really invite you to allow people to see you and your why. Why are you an actor? Why are you an artist? Why are you a multi-hyphenate? Why do you do what you do? And again, I was going to keep saying it. Be specific, because everything does start to sound the same. Well, I'm an actor because I love telling stories of characters that go on journeys and have an arc. Okay, so does everybody, right? That again, I call that actor speak flowery language. But why? Get to the core of it. Why must you be a storyteller? Why must you be an actor? Why do you do what you do? And if you don't know that, you got to figure that out. You got to figure that out. Because again, you want people to see you in this bio, and your why is a huge part of what you do. And your why could be similar to someone else's, and maybe that's why you collaborate. Maybe that director could say, I feel the same way. I can't wait to work with this person. So this is where you get to be a little bit vulnerable. And the fifth step to write a really kick-ass actor bio is you do want to include clout, right? Of course you want to include some clout. But again, a lot of times I'll read a bio and it's literally the resume regurgitated. Like literally. It's chronological. I grew up here. I did this. I was a high school drama club president. I really love telling stories. And here's all the stories I told. Thank you. Right? And again, it's boring. It's just boring when if I'm reading your bio, I want to know you. But again, you want to give yourself clout. So that's why we want to include maybe the top 3 or 4 things. How can you pepper that in there? You know, I've seen some bios where people list, 20 teachers that they've worked with. And it's like, okay, again, that's on your resume. What's the top teacher? Who has the most clout? What can you say? How can you position yourself as that person who's working, who is moving and shaking, who is doing things, but we don't have to regurgitate the entire resume. So follow these 5 steps. Remember, it doesn't have to be chronological. It gets to be whatever you want it to be. It can be in any structure that you want it to be. It can be in an interview structure. It could be in any structure. Even in your structure of the bio. What would showcase you the best? What would showcase your brand the best? What would help people see you the best? Maybe it's a video that you record, right? There are no rules except the rules that you put on it. But I really invite you to follow these 5 steps just to have a bio that is compelling, that is engaging, and that really allows people to see you and the talented artist that you are. All right, let me know what you think about this below, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.